All right, hey guys, I'm Emily with Trucenta, and today I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Blake.
And today, in honor of Memorial Day, we want to talk about one of our military veterans' experience with cannabis, what products he uses, and hopefully how we can help other veterans find some relief in cannabis.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, first of all, what you do for us here at Trucenta, and kind of what your ins and outs are.
Okay. Well, I started off here last March on the cultivation team.
Okay.
And started learning because I knew nothing. I had never worked in the cannabis industry, never grown a plant ever in my life before working here.
Okay, were you into cannabis though and using it?
I was using it, but I was a safety manager at a trucking company. Our company got shut down because of COVID, because Ford was our biggest client.
Got you.
They shut down, we got shut down. So I actually called one of the guys who's on the cultivation team, who I've known for about 15 years. And I called him, I was like, dude, please tell me you have work. Because I knew everything was going to be shut down. And he's like, you can start tomorrow. And I was like, sign me up, let's go. And I got into it, and I really, really loved it.
And was this at the farm in Battle Creek, or was this just one of our grows here?
I started off in the indoor grow here.
Okay.
And then kind of learning the ropes of how to do things. And then, I went out last year to Battle Creek from July to the end of October.
Battle Creek was crazy last year for us. Our farm was banging.
Yeah, we did a total of 12,000 plants, and we froze over 8 million grams. we had some bangers, as they would say.
Putting out weight, okay.
Oh yeah. So and then when I got back from the farm, unfortunately, I had to have knee surgery. But after that, I started taking a look at my position in the company and where my kind of background, would help us, because I learned how to grow, but there's a lot of guys who know how to grow a lot better than me.
Yeah.
And I was only did it for about a year.
Right, we all have our roles.
Exactly. So I saw a need, and I took over our warehousing division. So
that's why I see you at corporate more.
Yes, because now I'm right across the street. But I have a background in logistics and inventory, and that's a bunch of stuff that I had to do in the military. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about that a little bit too. So I don't even know what branch of the service you were in or anything like that. So tell us a little bit about your experience with the military. I
enlisted in the Marine Corps.
Oh.
Right out of almost not even a year out of high school.
Big dogs.
Yeah. After high school, I did a semester at Michigan State doing Air Force RTC, and go green all day long. So the Air Force RTC got me really interested in that. Like, I had never wanted to ever go in the military. That was never even an option.
Okay.
I was going to go to school. I was going to get a degree in business and find out, what I was going to do in that arena.
Yep.
And then halfway through the semester, one of my buddies from high school came home from boot camp from Marines, and he's like, dude, if you like the military, he's like, you have to go, just at least go talk to my recruiter. He goes, plus, if you go in the Air Force, I'm never going to let you live it down. And I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
Right. Seems like a lot of rivalry between those branches.
Oh, yeah. I can make fun of all my military brothers, and they can make fun of me, but
no one else can.
No. I can make fun of my brother.
That's what true family is, though.
It is.
Yeah.
So I enlisted in the Marines, and my original contract was for infantry.
Okay.
And 2 weeks before I graduated from infantry school, I busted my ankle twice in 12 hours. So they took me and they gave me x-rays, and they're like, you only told us you broke your ankle once, but you broke it 3 times. And I was like, well, I didn't know that.
Right. I swear I didn't.
I didn't. So they picked a new job for me.
Okay.
So then I went to school to be an electrical engineer, and I did that for a little over 3 years. I did a deployment to Iraq in 2008. And then I actually went on 2 humanitarian missions, one to Cambodia and one to the Philippines. Because I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan for 2 years.
Oh, wow. So you've been all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
That's really amazing. Well, thank you for your service.
Appreciate you.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
But now I want to hear a little bit about how this all ties into cannabis for you personally, and where, you said you really hadn't been into the growing scene until last year.
Yeah.
We've been using it previously. So what does cannabis mean in your life, on a personal Blake note?
It is a huge part of my life. I went through some therapy at the VA for PTSD from my deployment to Iraq, and they gave me a bunch of antidepressants and antipsychotics and all that stuff, and it made me a zombie. You know, I wasn't like happy or sad. I was just existing.
Yeah.
And it was needed right at first when I was going through the worst of it, just to kind of like go from nothing to that.
Yeah.
But once you get on that regimen, it's just
hard to build from there.
It is. So I decided I went through therapy for about 3.5 months, and I took those medications for about a month and a half, and then I stopped taking them and I started using cannabis because it's instant.
Yeah.
Where if I have a trigger and something, my brain puts me somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to wait 45 minutes to get back to, to manage that 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas I knew how much I needed, and it would calm me down. It would, I can use my grounding techniques and stuff that I was learning in therapy. And then, my therapist was like, oh my gosh, our sessions are getting so much better. I was like, you're just really good at your job, Doc.
Right.
Keep it up.
Nothing to do with the cannabis, for sure.
Right. And that's because this was in 2014.
Okay.
So, legal cannabis wasn't even a thing in Michigan.
No, yeah. So
and
talking about that with doctors for sure was frowned upon.
Yeah, absolutely not. So after that, I kind of, I medicated on my own. And
how were you medicating back in 2014? So probably a lot of flour?
Flour.
Yeah.
Lot of flour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about those grounding techniques? Because personally, that's something I've learned through therapy sessions of my own and working with my doctors is when I get in those modes of panicking or kind of disassociating, for me a big part is just the rolling part. You know what I mean? And actually having the weed in your fingers, having that sensory input, having those smells kind of ground you and bring you back to like that moment in time. And stuff, do you have any other tools that, you kind of rely on or that really help you with that? Or is that pretty much the experience for you as well?
Definitely with the sensory, like you have the rolling.
And the smells.
I open it and I smell the jar.
Okay. Get lost in that smell for a minute.
Yes, and I focus on my breathing, and I focus on what I can pick up from the smell to kind of take my mind off of where it was going.
Yeah.
And then also having my hands on the jar to be like, okay, this is real. I'm right here. This is something I can touch. And then you kind of get back to where you're at.
Absolutely. And then get the added benefit of getting that relief and rush of euphoria from the medication itself.
Absolutely.
I think sometimes people don't understand that there's a whole process that goes into medicating with weed. And not just, using it recreationally is awesome. Super fun. Love it. Yeah, all about it. But there's something special about when you're using it as that medication. You're like, all right, cool. Having a panic attack, like, let me get that jar to hold on to. Let me, really engulf myself in this smell. Let me, think about this experience instead of whatever is going on in your head. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it's... For medical purposes, like, people think, oh, you're not using it for medicine, you're just doing it to get high.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I've had, in the past 2 years, I've had 2 knee surgeries and I broke my shoulder, which I'm still recovering from a broken shoulder.
And then 3 broken ankles?
Oh yeah, I've had surgeries all like...
Yeah. I feel like most of the servicemen I know have a litany of old injuries that still affect them and hurt. And,
And I went through, before I really got big into cannabis, I had to have surgery on my foot and they prescribed me 90 Vicodin a month for 4 months. Three a day for 30 days. And I got addicted to it.
Yeah.
I was accusing my roommate of stealing it. I was sitting there counting him like a little gremlin. And he's like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah, exactly. It's like, what are you doing?
Right.
And he's like, you need to look at what you're doing right now. So I
reevaluate.
Yeah, I had the come to Jesus moment, if you will. And I threw him down the toilet and I never touched him again. So I use it for pain management.
Yeah. And honestly, that's a huge question we get in the care center a lot is, okay, so if we're going to go down this route for pain management, should I be worried about becoming physically addicted? And I'm always so happy to tell people no, you don't. Mentally addicted might be a different story.
Right.
You really learn to love weed and want that in your life.
Yeah.
But as far as those physical dependencies or the running the risk of taking too much and it hurting your liver, the worst you can do is take too much and you might not have the best mental time. Or you might get real sleepy.
Yeah.
But you're not going to knock out your kidneys or liver.
Exactly.
So.
And and it doesn't even have to be smoking.
Yeah.
I use one of my favorite products is the Mary's Medicinal Muscle Freeze.
Ooh.
And it's a topical. It's THC and CBD, so it has healing qualities. And the THC for the pain management, like you don't get a buzz from it at all. But like my mother, she's like a deacon at the church and like all this stuff, swears by it.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how old she is because I wouldn't do that to my mom. But she's, even with how active, because she still plays tennis and golf and all this stuff, and she's like, I use this on all my, like, she's had me get it for all of her girlfriends. Like, it's this, to me, the safest way and the most effective way to treat pain management without becoming physically addicted to pain. Well,
yeah.
There's an opioid crisis throughout the whole country,
Right.
and I wonder why that is.
Right. Exactly.
I've never heard of overdosing on weed.
Nope. Yep, I think for me, we recommend topicals a lot in the care center just because I like to call it the stigma breaker. That's the one you can give to, I love when people call us and they're like, I have arthritis, I have a ton of pain, and I don't want to get high. And they think it's going to like stump me. I'm like, perfect, we got the perfect item. My grandpa loves this, my grandma,
Oh yeah.
I think every old person I know over 65, 70, like that's close to me right now, either takes cannabis as a sleeping aid or uses a topical, and both of which they're not getting high from.
Right. Or even using them for to regain appetite.
Yeah. Oh, that's a huge one, especially for a lot of the older crowd.
Yeah, huge.
And to be honest, that has a lot to do with PTSD and anxiety and depression that people go through, and a lot of veterans have to deal with.
Absolutely.
That was always the hard thing I hear a lot of patients dealing with is they feel a certain way, and now it's hard to do those normal day activities. The normal eating, the normal sleeping, and that's where it really becomes hard. So at least with the cannabis, you can help alleviate some of those symptoms while hopefully, like you said, talking with someone or finding different routes to express some of the other mental, internal stuff you got going on.
Absolutely.
Are there any other products that have really, become a part of your daily life or something you go to when things are really bad or if you start to slip into an episode?
Well, I do I've started to get into the cartridges with the betters because I don't have to worry about pulling it out and anything smelling and it's super convenient.
Yeah.
And
so discreet.
You can put it in I have one in my pocket right now.
In fact, it's the Element Live Resin.
It is.
Which the live resin is particularly great for body aches and pains, kind of the more bodily ailment management. Yes. So sleep, help with sleep, nausea, appetite stimulation, more of that body high feeling, which for someone who's looking for some serious relief, that's the way to go.
It is. And like I said, I use that, but I'm also still a huge fan of flower.
Yeah.
That's just...
Yeah.
I'll never get over that.
I think, like we talked about, for me, it's the sensory part of it. There's sometimes I'm like, I'm so stressed. I don't even necessarily want to smoke. I just need to roll this blunt. And you know what I mean? I'll get to smoking the blunt later, but for right now, I need to have my hand in the bag of weed. I need to smell it. I want to see the resin on my fingers. I want to get back to, this plane.
For sure.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Topicals, cartridge, but yeah, flower is definitely my number one go-to.
Do you mess with RSO at all?
No.
A little nervous.
I did once.
Okay.
And that I'm still, for even the job that I have and how long I've been doing it, I am a super lightweight.
That's beautiful.
It is. And it
saves you money.
It does. And my friend's like, I wish, I can eat a 10 milligram edible and
You're gone.
I'm not gone, but I'm
That's perfect.
I'm I'm good. I got a night, a little warm and fuzzy.
Yep. That warm blanket feel.
Yeah, exactly. I'm talking to people that are I need to at least start with 100 milligrams.
That's me.
I was I would die.
That's me. 50, I'm really not feeling. I'll be oh cool, I probably took an edible today. But 100 is where I'm gonna feel that.
I'll see you in 3 to 5 business days.
But that's another thing. People just don't understand. It's purely our liver differences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with how much you can smoke, has nothing to do with the tolerance. It's all about how my liver processes the Delta-9 and changes it, and how yours does. You know,
Yeah.
yours might be a lot better, so it's more sensitive, and you're getting more of the THC absorption
Sure.
without having to work for it. My body might just be like really pulling to
Yeah,
get that THC out.
For sure.
You know?
For sure. And that's, you know, I love seeing the differences of tolerances between people.
Yeah. It's
like,
fun.
And that's like, I am a 6'5", 265 pound man, and you're
Yep.
like, and you're like, no, your tolerance is higher than mine. See, that's just, it like blows my mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's also what makes cannabis so fun, and I think more of a personal thing. What works for me isn't going to work for you necessarily.
Absolutely.
Not going to work, you know, what's best for you guys. So it really takes a little bit of trial and error, but once you find what works best, it gives you a sense of power knowing that, like, you know, your health is in your hands now. You don't have to go wait till you have your monthly visit with your doctor to talk about how your medication's making you feel. You know, if anything, give the care center a call. Let us know. Keep us updated. We'll help regiment your doses for you. And,
Absolutely.
you know, I don't know. I think there's something really powerful about taking your healing into your own hands and getting to try to make a better life. I know it's like that little placebo effect, you know, the more you try, the more results you see, and then it just kind of builds on that.
And the fact that you're doing it instead of somebody else telling you what you need to take this at this time and do that, you kind of make up your own, what works for you.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to work for anybody else.
Yep. That's the beauty of it.
It's completely individualized.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you think is important for our veterans to know out there, or any of our, you know, customers that are dealing with pain management or PTSD?
I would definitely look into it, and if this is your first time getting into it, call center. That's what they're there for. And like, don't feel embarrassed or anything about calling to ask for help, because sometimes that's exactly what you need. And especially if you're a veteran and the VA keeps feeding you all the pills that they do, stop. Like I said, that was back in 2014, so it's been 7 years, and I haven't touched a single one. So I think that's a pretty big testament
huge.
That it works pretty well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really huge.
But pain management, Topicals, our website, breeze.us, has a whole list. It breaks it down into different categories, whether it's an edible or topical if you're not really into smoking. Go there, and if you have any questions, again, call center.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So once again, on behalf of Breeze and Trucena, we want to thank all of our active servicemen and women and our veterans who, you know, work to protect and serve for our country. So happy Memorial Day, and thank you guys from Breeze.
Thank you. Have a good one.